We've been attempting the San Marino challenge and it's going pretty well. After 6 seasons, we've managed to score a goal, win a game, qualify for a major tournament, beat Spain at it, and then go one step further and qualify for the final of a major tournament. Let's not mention the fact that we did get smashed by England in that final. But still, it takes nothing away from the amazing progress that we've made so far. Of course, on the club side of things, we've taken Victor San Marino, the San Marinese team that plays in Italy. We've taken them from the lower leagues in Italy to the Serie A, and we've also birthed the god that is becoming the general hero of this save, Fantini. In today's episode, we're going to see if we can go one step further, because the aim at the start of this was to try and get San Marino to the top of the world rankings. And even after all of those achievements and all of the heroics that we've achieved so far, we're still only ranked 147th. So the journey goes on. And we start today's video by having a look here at the world rankings. I mentioned we were 147th at the end of last video. We've made a little bit of progress since then, but only a little bit. San Marino, in our quest to make our way to number 1, currently sits 137th, just below Afghanistan and Tanzania. So maybe that's a bit of a marker of how much progress we have still yet to make, that we need to aim to try and make. But of course, we know that this squad of players, this San Marino team, is pretty strong. We've got great players in there. Of course, the GOAT, Giovanni Fantini. Love him to bits. He's now 21 years old. Actually, hopefully going to get a little bit better, even though we've got some down arrows here. Can he go to the next level? He's like the San Marinese Erling Haaland, is at least what I'm calling him anyway. Great goal record for the country. He's going to be a big part of things in today's video, hopefully. But just point out one or two of the rest of the squad to give you a full understanding. We've got other great players like Donati at right wing back is really, really good. This maxed out youth rating is doing the business, and I've got real high hopes that we can achieve things in today's video. Maybe it'll be the last of what is becoming a series. Maybe we'll have to go again by the end of this one. Let's go and find out. Today, it's going to be all about trying to qualify for the World Cup in 2030. We're in 2029, and this is our World Cup qualifying group. We've got Germany, Luxembourg, Scotland, and Ukraine to contest with. And you'd be thinking, looking at that we should get 6 points from Luxembourg, and then it'll be about what result we can get against Scotland and Ukraine. If we can pick up results against those two, I think we can sneak in behind Germany, maybe even pip them to that top spot. But all about trying to make that World Cup in 2030, which is going to be hosted in Turkey next in 2030, which is very cool. Why is Ecuador? I guess Ecuador have already qualified along with Turkey, which is interesting. That's going to be us soon. And of course, alongside that, we are also taking charge of the club side, Victor San Marino. If I go to this home screen here, you can see that on the 22nd of March, 2029, we're in a bit of a pickle, which is why we are starting today's video here. We've got some urgent therapy in need here at Victor San Marino to try and avoid relegation. We should be fine. With 8 games to go, we are just 4 points clear of the drop. Palermo, Spezia and Salento in there. We just need to be careful that we don't get dragged into things. This Victor San Marino team is looking really, really good. I think we are starting to recognise it's the same names that we're keeping around, and pretty much the same names that are in the national team are playing for the club side, obviously. But also one player I wanted to point out to you, because you may not have seen him yet in the videos, because he's been out on loan. He came through our youth intake a few years ago now, and we've loaned him out. He played 4 games last season, but we've loaned him out to Paganese in Serie C, and he's doing very well. And I think there's high hopes for this guy. His potential looks really good, and he's got attributes in the right place. So keep an eye on Giovanni Villa for the future. Hopefully there's another one that we've managed to bring through there. The aim now, can we avoid relegation with this squad? And can we start our journey trying to qualify for the World Cup in 2030? Let's jump forward a little bit. Let's find out how that goes, and I'll see you then. Oh, before we do jump forward to that, I'm just going to really quickly say this. If you're enjoying this series, enjoying these videos, and enjoying the other content on the channel, please make sure you are subscribed to the channel. I'm aiming for 75k. We're not that far away, and you guys can help me out to hit that goal. Thank you so much for being here, for watching this. Let me know all of your thoughts. I want to read all of your comments down below too. But let's go through then. Let's go find out how we're going in this World Cup qualification. Okay, first things first, we have survived with Victor San Marino in Serie A. It was a little bit ropey, and it definitely wasn't pretty. If I show you the results over here, look, if we go to the fixtures, I want the fixtures for Victor San Marino. There's some heavy
losses in here. I think maybe we need to tweak the way that we're approaching things, because the final 2 games of the season, we lost 5-2 in both of them. We've got some great players, but we've also got some players that aren't quite at the level needed yet. So until we can bring through a few more players, maybe we just need to tweak these tactics. We're rocking with this at the moment, which is it's this Gary O'Neill type system with the 3 at the back. I wonder now if the time is to switch things up. Maybe when we come back on the next one, we'll find out if it is something that I've decided to do. In terms of the national team, we've made a good start there, though. So there is some positives. If I go across to this year's qualifiers, that is the start of the qualifiers, yes. We have beaten Ukraine in our first game. 2-0 win, goals from an own goal from Zabani. And then, of course, it was Giovanni Fantini with his, 31 for the country? 31 national team goal. He is the GOAT and he's scoring again. And that means we're right up towards the top of our qualifying group. Where's our group? We're second behind Scotland, who have also won their first game. Germany have beaten Luxembourg but lost to Ukraine in the first 2 games. So does that open the door a little bit for us? You really hope so. That's actually what we're going to focus on now. I'm going to come back in when the next season has ticked over and when I've gone through a load of these qualifiers to update you how they are going. Also, will there be a change in shape? Let's go and find out. Right, so we're up to November now of 2029 and our World Cup qualifying campaign is pretty much finished. If I show you the table here, we have qualified for the World Cup after a pretty good qualifying campaign. It's pretty much as you'd expect it to be, actually, as well. After beating Ukraine, it gave us the confidence to know that we could go and beat some of these teams. But also, playing teams like Germany, you're always going to drop some points there, and they're always going to be very tricky, of course. The second game was Germany. Fantini did score, but we did lose 2-1 in this game. Goals from Kylian and Guy Matondo, which is this guy here who, they've got good players. It's very difficult. We then beat Scotland 4-2. There are the goal scores you can see on the screen. And then we beat Luxembourg away from home 3-0. We were banking on this one, definitely. So after the first 4 games, it's 3 wins and a loss. We're in a great position, weren't we? And we kind of just carried it on. We actually lost to Ukraine, again away from home, maybe expected. They're not a bad team at all. Then we beat Germany, and at this stage, I was like, do you know what? We are going to qualify here because we are good enough to do so. Fantini Materazzi, who is a centre-back that I think maybe could play in other positions too. Here he is. And also Regini and Chiaruzzi with the goals. They made it close with a bit of a late show. Matondo scored twice on 87 and 94, but we got the 3 points and then went unbeaten with the other games too. With Scotland, a draw away from home and then a win, of course, against Luxembourg 3-0. We are officially going to the World Cup. And actually, that one that I clicked on before, look, we are now in this list of nations that have qualified along with the likes of Croatia, Italy, United States, Costa Rica are there. Is Tanzania, Kyrgyzstan are actually in it, to be fair. They might actually be around us in the world rankings, to be completely honest. But I'm looking for teams like Kazakhstan and Tanzania, because if they're not, we're going to go above them in the world rankings. And you probably want to know, actually, looking at the world rankings, which is here, we find ourselves now, after a little bit of progress, we were 130 something before, we're up to 117th. The top 100 is within our sights at this stage. If we can overtake teams and nations like Zimbabwe and Oman and Lebanon and North Korea, then who knows? Pretty soon we're going to be a top 100 nation. Things have gone well as I mentioned. There's the national team results. Quick look in at Victor San Marino, which are becoming maybe secondary in this story because it's kind of just all about survival at this stage. Can we survive in Serie A with the players that we've got and also allow some of these players to flourish? We're doing so. We're 15th. It's certainly not pretty. We've actually changed the approach a little bit too. We are using the 4-2-2 sandbox. It's the San Pellegrino, but it's been tweaked to be a bit more narrow in terms of some of the ones you saw before. It's working okay. We're doing enough, really, is what we're doing. We had a bit of a horrible spell between, well, most of September and all of October, but recently a win and a draw in the most recent 2 games. We had a good win 7-2 against Ternana in the Italian Cup, but we're doing all right. We're just surviving, and that's kind of the aim of the game at this stage. If we can survive and bring through more players, maybe eventually when they develop, go and challenge at the top of this, that would be great. But we're going to focus a little bit more heavily, I think, on the national team. Can we climb those rankings? And now we've got a World Cup to go and bloody win. I suppose the next step to go and find out is who we're going to be facing in that World Cup. Let's go and have a look at the World Cup draw. And in that World Cup, we are going to be playing against South Korea, Tunisia, and Uruguay. I think it's been a pretty kind draw, actually. I'm not too upset with this. Definitely not. Also, something to notice. Thank you, whoever left the comment saying, put some friendlies in because it helps to push you up the rankings. I don't know if this is true or not, but I've decided to try and do 1 or 2 extra friendlies in there just in case it is, because it kind of makes sense in my head as well. So we've played against Australia and beat them 5-1. Nigeria, Cape Verde, and Turkey in friendlies coming up as well soon. Before this World Cup in Turkey, that though is where we're going to go to next. But before that, I want to show you a few intake players, a few players coming through. Also, I want to stop and pause and show you once again this man here, Giovanni Villa. I showed you him earlier on when I think he was 18. He was out on loan at Paganese. We've brought him back to the club now, and I think a star has been born. He has scored 3 goals in his first 2 caps for the full national team. He played loads of games for the under-21s before that. He is going to play up front with Fantini, and I think the two of them together, look at the pace and the acceleration. Okay finishing for a striker, to be honest. Great technique and flair as well. Really exciting player. I think especially if we can get him to play as a striker. I think a new star, may have been born here. Hopefully those two up front together can fire us to victory in this World Cup. I reckon we can do it. Maybe I'm just getting ahead of myself a little bit, but I've got I think I've said this a lot in these videos. I've got really high hopes. We are now using this system here, and it's quite out there. It's the 4-2-2 San Pellegrino, but these players are just moving around and tweaking things as we go through. This seems fun at the moment with Fantini and Villa as our strikers. Having a lot of fun with it. I want to show you also some of the players that have come through too. If I show you the youngest players in the squad, there are some good players. Alberti, I think you've seen before. DeLillo is looking really, really quite good too. And if I go to the under 18s and the youth candidates, we've got some really high potential players, look, in here. Ursini, Aniello, well, sorry, ignore Ursini because he is Italian, but Aniello, great potential with him, and great value too, which is always a good indication that potential is actually real in terms of their PA. And also a 15-year-old goalkeeper by the name of Christian here. Looks like he could be quite special as well with his potential too. So keep an eye on some of these breaking into the first team squad, breaking into the national team squad. Let's go though, I think, up to this World Cup and get started. Let's try and go and win it. So I'll see you after maybe a couple of the group games. Welcome to Turkey. Welcome to the World Cup 2030, and welcome to the most ridiculous San Marino team you're ever likely to see. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the 3-3-1-3 overload, and this is what's going to fire us to World Cup victory. I am almost sure of it because we have made a sensational start to our World Cup journey. We've completed the group stage, and have a look at these results in this group stage. Remember who we drew against, or who we've been drawn against. South Korea, Tunisia, Uruguay. We've beaten South Korea 6-1. Let's jump into a match for the first time today. Let's watch some goals for the first time today with this ridiculously attacking formation. I felt like, and I was just trying to we didn't have loads of midfielders in the setup. In terms of players that have come through over the years, not a load of midfielders, not many wingers really, or at least wingers that I wanted to use because I wanted to use strikers instead. So we've gone for 3 centre-backs with wing-backs and then 3 strikers up front. So there's one of them, Fantini. You know him very well. He equalised after South Korea actually took the lead in this game. And then we had a really quick spell of scoring loads. Sacchetti at the back post. Fantini's assist made it 2-1 into the second half. Well, actually, this is end of first half still. Look, Donati down the right-hand side. There's Villa. But Giovanni Villa, who we introduced to you guys in today's video, is sensationally good. Donati down the right is a real star as well. There's Villa again in the middle with his second VAR check, but goal given. And then finally, we finished it all off with the man himself, Fantini, scoring the goal. In fact, there was a time, was this disallowed goal or something, or was this actually a goal? I've lost count because we won 6-1. It was Sacchetti scoring, but I think that one might have been disallowed. 6-1 was the victory. And no, it was a goal. It did count. It was a disallowed goal from Materazzi before that. Those are the players that played. These are the players that are going to take us to victory. A 4-1 win against Tunisia and a 2-2 draw with a very good, strong Uruguay team that had Darwin Nunez scoring a penalty, Arezzo, FM legend, scoring a goal there, late equaliser from Sacchetti. That means we go through to play Ecuador. They were the first team to qualify for this World Cup, except for Turkey, who are the hosts. Remember that? We're going to play them in the second round, and I want to go all the way. So let's go and find out how we can get on against this Ecuador team. What the hell was that? We've just beaten Ecuador 6-4. I don't even know where to begin. I am now seeing what happens when you play a system like this with not so many midfielders, but lots of attacking players, 3 strikers and an attacking midfielder. You'll score lots of goals, but you will also give up matching XGs, which is really fun. 3.16 XG each, and they scored 4, but we scored 6. And if we score more goals than them, what happens, Michael Owen? You win the game, don't you? And that's what we've done. Goals from Sacchetti, Fantini, Sacchetti, Materazzi, Regini, and Chiaruzzi late on to make sure of it, because they were good. They tried. Moises Caicedo scored a goal for them. Pervis Estupinian scored for them. They've got a good team, but we have knocked them out. And I've got something to show you. Who do you think we're going to play in the quarterfinals? Think back to what happened at the last major tournament we qualified. We've got England. Of course we have. I'm sure you would have guessed that right then as well. It's England in the round of 16, and this makes me scared because England are very, very good. Thomas Frank's England, they're very, very good. If I show you their national team senior squad and just sort them by value, they've got value. Like Phil Foden's worth nearly, well, maybe £300 million. Kobbie Mainoo is like 250 million. Levi Colwill's apparently amazing. Reece James is still playing at 30. Jude Bellingham. This isn't going to be easy, so I'll see you on the other side. It's penalties against England after a thrilling 3-3 draw. Regini has hit the post, and that has sent us out. Declan Rice actually did score the winning penalty after that, but it wasn't in the highlights. We've gone out of the World Cup again to England, and again, I was going to say again in heartbreaking fashion. Actually, we got thrashed last time. This time, though, it is genuinely heartbreaking. After taking the lead from a penalty from Sacchetti, I change how I say his name every single time. We then went 2-0 up. Villa, who is becoming our newest hero in this side, actually put us 2-0 up against England from a tight angle. We were in dreamland, and then the dream sort of kind of fell apart from that point on. Phil Foden, Alex Scott, and then Jude Bellingham making it 3-2 to England, but on 108 minutes in extra time after Jude gave England the lead, Berardi made it 3-3. It took us to penalties, and we ended up missing. We missed 2 of our 3 here. Dos Santos missed. Siachi scored. Regini then missed, and Declan Rice scored his. We've gone out, but again, it's a really admirable run, and we are mixing it with the big boys. But there's going to be big boys in every single tournament, isn't there? Hopefully, this does mean that we're going to get a big boost to our world ranking. But it does definitely mean that the journey is going to need to continue. Let's have a quick pit stop with that disappointment over with Victor San Marino as well. Last year, it's now July, of course, the end of the season, summer World Cup going on. That season actually went pretty well with the club side. We finished 9th, just outside those European places. 54 points from 38 games, much better than the previous season where we were close to that relegation. I think we got 39 points last year, 56 this year. So in fact, I can look right there. It was indeed 39 points. We've made big strides forward with this. We're using the same system, this mental 3-3-1-3 overload. It works when it works. You get great results when you win games. You do lose games heavily when you lose. We lost 4-0 to Juventus, for example, in the last game. But you get 6-0 wins against Bologna. So you take the rough with the smooth. I think as players get better, we continue. The journey, it continues. I'll see you at the next step along the journey then. So the next step along our journey then is the Nations League, as we look to think about qualifying for the Euros, which will take place in 2032. It's 2030 now, 18th of November, and we've completed a Nations League campaign. Now, at this stage, I think we can just sort of accept that we are a really good football team. We've got really good players. We can mix it with some of the best teams in the world and navigate through World Cup groups, etc. So I'm hoping we don't need to rely on the Nations League, but it went well anyway. We beat Hungary 2-1, Austria 5-3, Slovakia 3-2. We did lose to Austria away from home. Our home form is always better, which is just normal for a football team. But then beat Hungary 5-1 and Slovakia 4-2. It means we've been promoted out of this group here. And I think that does mean we're into the playoffs, ready in case we don't qualify through the qualifying campaign, which will be coming up next. But I wanted to just stop and show you this San Marino team, which now is fully made up of players from Victor San Marino. We are managing to bring them all into one place because they're not like top players, so that they're difficult to sign. And, you know, it's fairly easy to bring them together. So it's definitely going to be worthwhile playing with the club side and the national team too. But there's really good players in here that we are a good, strong national team now these days. Players like DeLillo, even down here, look, who's not currently listed in the lineup, is really good. Dos Santos, excellent player, is Nicolas Dos Santos, only 20 years old. We've actually recently signed him permanently for the club side. He's maybe our latest or one of the latest signings we've made with the club side here. Look, if I go to, not there, if I go to the transfer history, he came in for £12.5 million. We are pretty much actually with Victor San Marino too, almost fully San Marinese, except for Rampy, who is, I'm trying to get rid of him. We are really trying to get rid of him. But other than that, we are fully San Marinese because Sternieri became a homegrown, even though he was Italian before, because he'd been playing for us, he became homegrown for San Marino, and now we've got him in the San Marino national team. So we've added another one that way as well, which is a fun way of doing it, I think. We're getting to the point where I think we can expect and jump from national major tournaments to the next major tournament, because in terms of how things are going in the Serie A, we're kind of just mid-table until we are challenging at the top and maybe qualifying for things like the Conference League or the Europa League. Again, it's going to be the focus on the national team, and we've completed our our Nations League qualifying. Where is it? Our Nations League qualifying. Next up, it's going to be the Euro qualifiers. So I suppose unless anything major happens in terms of like youth intakes and things like that and players, but although you'll see them at some point, won't you? Unless anything major happens, I'll see you at the European qualifiers, I think. So it's going well. It's going very well. I'm happy with the progress. Come on. So here we are. We are now into the 29th of March, 2031. And this is our European qualifying group. And I think we've had a really nice one here. We've got Israel, Latvia, North Macedonia, Norway and Turkey. And I think we've got every chance of topping this group. Our fixtures are as followed. Turkey first, away. North Macedonia, Latvia, then Israel. I think away at Turkey first, getting maybe the hardest game out of the way. And then hoping to try and win the rest of them, I think, has to be the aim here. Can we get ourselves a place at this 2032 tournament? I think we've got I keep saying it, but we've got every chance. I think we can go and win it. This might be the point where I don't know where we end this series. Is it only when we get to that #1 ranking in the world rankings? Because how difficult that's going to be. Let's check in actually where we are in terms of those world rankings. It's slow movement, I'm going to say. We've had now a couple of, we did that Nations League, and now we've had the qualifying campaign start, or it's about to start. We're up to 61st, so we have jumped ahead of those nations that we talked about before. We're around about the same place as Czechia. We've got Paraguay just above us, South Africa, Egypt. We're starting to mix it with some big nations. We're not that far behind Scotland, for example, and you'd expect Scotland to qualify for tournaments every now and then, wouldn't you? And teams like, I don't know, maybe like Republic of Ireland in there, Wales. Germany are 37th. What has happened in Germany? Is that a result of the licensing thing where they have to rely on new gen players rather than the current players? Because they have fallen like a stone all the way down to 37. We're almost as good as Germany. What were we worried about when we were playing them in those qualifying games for the World Cup? Either way, we're doing okay. We're making steady progress. I'm going to go and get through all of these qualifying games now and just see what happens with them. I'm hoping we're going to win them. Let's check in quickly with Victor San Marino, the club side too, where, yeah, as always, as per usual, it seems, we're 13th. We're mid-table. We're not going to get relegated. We should beat, I mean, we might not reach our points total of last year, and we are still using this wacky and weird 3-3-1-3 overload at the moment. It has been tweaked a little bit, actually, although actually we were using something different for the national team, although we have gone back to the 3-3-1-3 currently. But we are changing between them. There is where is it here? The gas ball. But I've been tweaking the instructions on the gas ball to match up a little bit more with these ones. You see how they're fairly similar, but we're experimenting. We're doing okay. We keep making progress. I will see you at the end of this qualifying campaign then. Let's hope we're on our way to the European Championships, which are going to be held in Spain. No, Norway. No,
Spain. It was Spain. They've qualified. Look, Norway are the holders. Erling Haaland's Norway with Ronny Deila as the manager have won the Euros before. Did I know that? I should have known that. 2028, Norway won the European Championships. Fair play. If they can win it, so can San Marino, maybe. See at the end of the qualifying. As predicted, then nothing to worry about in terms of this qualifying campaign. And the top two teams in our group have actually both gone through. Us and Turkey. We smashed it. We've played 10 games. There are 6 teams in the group. We've won 7 of them. There you can see the games that we won. We beat Norway. We didn't actually beat Turkey in that first game. In fact, we lost our first game 4-3. But then from there, like I kind of predicted as well, we went on a bit of a run. Won 7 of the last 9. Drew 2 of them. We drew to Turkey, who actually had our measure in both games. Drew to Norway away from home as well. We beat Norway, which actually I didn't realise was as big of an achievement as it, I suppose, is, because I hadn't realised that they won the Euros last time and we just dispatched them easily. So that's quite nice. Fantini got himself top goal scorer in the qualifying campaign as well, which is always nice to see. Let's check in and have a look at him. Here he is, look, at the ripe old age now of 24 years old. So he's heading into his prime. He's always wanted. We are constantly trying to keep hold of him, really, making sure that he hasn't got any, he's got match highest earner, but he hasn't got any release clauses in there, unless we get relegated, which would be a disaster, I suppose. But we're managing to keep hold of him because our reputation is starting to catch up as a club and things, and his rep isn't that high anyway because he's from San Marino and all of these things. We're doing okay. We are going to be going to those European Championships in Spain then in 2032. And in terms of the Victor San Marino club side as well, we're doing okay over here as well. In fact, this season has started, now with it being November, the season has started better. We've played 11 games and we are in the top 6 at the moment. Maybe, just maybe, there's a chance we can kick on a little bit from there. I've deserted the 3 strikers thing. It was way too stressful. It was fun, but we were losing a lot of games because we just didn't have that midfield. We've gone instead back to the Gazball, which is this 3-4-3 type thing. I've actually now changed, as I kind of alluded to before, I've changed all of the instructions. So I've taken them from the overload system. That's a different overload, but you know, we are constantly experimenting, taking those instructions and put it onto the Gazball. So it's kind of best of both worlds. This is the Victor San Marino team at the moment. In fact, let me just do a quick pick for you and pick the best 11 right now so that you can kind of see. We're in a good spot. We've got a few like 2-star players, but that's always going to be the way, isn't it? But some real strong players in there as well. Donati, Fantini, Villa, Regini, as well as another striker who's at the moment playing as a winger. They're good. They're scoring goals. Villa's got 6 already, 11 in 12 for Fantini. Just look at his overall goal scoring record, 162 now in 263. He's got 62 in 71 for the national team. We just need to hold on to him and get rid of, not let him go to Saudi as he's being linked with at the moment. And we can maybe kick on and do something in the with the club side this year, as well as with the national team. We are qualified for the European Championships. That's going to be our next stop. Can we go and win it? Can we go and secure some glory in sunny Spain? That's the aim. I'll see you there. You know, I'm just going to jump to here. This whole tournament, this European Championships, it's just come to an end. And we've been Mbappe'd. We've just had no luck with the draws. And eventually, in the second round, I think it is here, we've gone out to Mbappe, who scored this goal in the 54th minute. And France were just too strong. France's team, we've not really come up too much against them for a while now, and they are just ridiculous. Even in terms of some of the new gens that they've managed to produce since the start of this save, they are outrageously good. We gave it away in the midfield. Zaire Emery has come into his prime. Mbappe just smashes it home. Still really good in the year of 2032, as you'd expect him to be. I'll show you his profile. Here he is, look, at 33 years old, still got all the physicals you could want. We got Mbappe'd, and do you know what? It's just not really been our tournament. We got straight away from the off look, we got really unlucky with this group. Portugal, the Netherlands, and Germany. Now, we talked about how Germany are not very good anymore, so we beat them, but we did draw to the Netherlands 0-0. I've got no goals to show you, really, because we lost 1-0 to Portugal in the first game. Antonio Silva there. Giovanni Fantini did score twice, but then we came up against France in the second round, the first knockout round. And yeah, as I showed you, Mbappe, he got us, and it's been a European Championships to forget, really. It's a very England tournament, it seems to remind me of, where you just kind of have all these hopes and then they just
don't really achieve it. That's been us this year. We go again with a Nations League coming up as we'll turn our attention to the 2034 World Cup. Maybe then, and I keep saying this, I know, maybe then a few of these young players can develop a little bit more. Maybe players like Villa can turn into the player that we know that he can become. He's now 21. He's very much wanted by some other teams, but still not by the top teams like Salernitana are the team that are in for him rather than your likes of Juventus and AC Milan, for example. We're holding on to our players. We are fully Victor San Marino, except for one or two that we've brought in now. San Marino Academy player Guidi is in the national team. We need to try and buy him. In fact, we are buying him on a free transfer. He is joining us. And also this Cesena player, Mazza, is another player that we are signing to make sure he comes to the club side as well. Keeping on top of those things, Della Balda, again, same thing. He's coming to the club too on a free transfer. Keeping on top of those, there are a few players that are really young in this national team now. Siachi Gasparoni and that Della Balda. I am particularly impressed with Siachi. 6'3" striker. His attributes don't look like loads, but the value suggests to me that this guy could well be special in the future, as well as the potential is looking pretty good, like according to our coaching staff. I'm not seeing it yet. I know he's 17, but I'm not seeing it yet in terms of his attributes. But he's going to hopefully have really good jumping reach. He's 6'3", which is always, that's always a plus side for me. Hopefully Siachi can go and boost that attacking play that we've already got with, Villa and Fantini. So more midfielders would not go down amiss though. Just like central midfielders. We've got like Mazza, who could play central midfield, but other players, please, can we have some midfielders, please? That's kind of the order of the day. We continue though. Disappointing in the Euros, but we go again. Let's go and make sure we qualify for this World Cup. We'll go through that Nation League and start those European qualifiers, and hopefully we can continue to kick on with Victor San Marino too. We're in June at the moment, so that season has come to an end. We've qualified for Europe for the first time. We finished 7th, so it's good. It's definitely progress, but it's going to be tricky still from this point. But with the signings we're making, we're bringing in these young, well, there they are there, look, these future transfers to bring in the national team players. Can we kick on again? I certainly hope so. I'll see you as we try to qualify this next World Cup. It is now 2033, the year before the next World Cup begins. We're into March, which means we are coming towards the end of our club season. And internationally, it means that we are starting our World Cup qualifiers. That does mean we've played a Nations League. It went horrendously, to be completely brutally honest with you. I don't know if we've taken this side as far as we can go. I certainly hope not. I'm hoping that we can get things back on track with these World Cup qualifiers, but we lost to Spain, drew to the Netherlands. Again, it was a tricky group that we got. We lost to Poland and lost to Poland's home and away, actually. Beat Spain fairly recently, so maybe there is still a little bit of hope, but that Nations League, we got relegated. We finished bottom. It's a real low point, to be honest. So I'm kind of trying to ignore it. I'm going to instead focus on the World Cup qualifying, where we've got Malta, Germany. We know Germany are rubbish. We've proven it many, many times. Azerbaijan, Finland, Norway. We've also discovered they're quite good. Malta, and I think I've already said those, haven't I? Though that is our group. If I show you the group in full here, look. I reckon we should be fine there. I'm looking at Norway and Germany and thinking we should be able to beat everybody else home and away. And I think we can nick a result or two against those two, especially Norway, I think. And Germany, they're rubbish. We've said it. We've proved it time and time again. We need to focus on this because we don't have the parachute of falling back on that Nations League playoff at the end of this because we were so brutally awful in that. So World Cup qualifying is very much the next order of the day. I want to show you the club side though, because I feel like we've made big leaps forward in terms of the club side this season. After finishing 7th last year, there are 8 games to play in Serie A right now. We're 7th again. It's a bit of a battle actually for this European qualification. And I'm not 100% certain that we're going to get there. I'm hoping that maybe we can go and win the Europa League, because in that competition, here is the league phase. Here is the league phase. Now, we were good enough to go through straight past that playoff round and into the knockouts, which is whatever round that is, which was the round of 16. So we skipped this knockout round by finishing 6th in the league phase. Spurs, Newcastle, Fiorentina, Nice, some AC Milan, some good teams in this competition. We managed to beat Legia, Apoel, AEK, Slovan Bratislava and Stade de Reims. And then we also then drew to Marseille and Frankfurt and lost to Newcastle. That Premier League power is just very difficult to deal with. Let's jump to the round of 16 where we have already navigated our way past Schalke of Germany. 3-0 win in the first leg and a 1-0 loss away from home. Enough to see us through. And in the quarterfinals, we will be playing Fiorentina. I think we've got a hope of winning this. And if we can go and start winning European competitions with the club sides, just think of what type of players, I don't know, we can maybe attract to go and buy. I say that as if it's going to make a big difference. I don't think it is, but it's all good for our players to be playing in the top competitions and to develop in the best way that they possibly can. I sort these by value now to show you the squad. Villa has gone right to the top of our top transfer value. And maybe that's just to show how good he is turning out to be. He's got attributes in just the right places, to be honest. Great agility, pace, and acceleration. Great dribbling as well. He's a winger. We have used him as a striker quite a lot, haven't we? He's wanted by Juventus now, who are actually the team that I referenced before, saying, at least they're not wanted by the biggest teams. Giovanni Villa is right now. We have to try and hold on to him. Fantini's value has dropped a little bit, maybe because he's now 25 and maybe he's reached the peak of his powers. I'm hoping that we see a little bit still from him. His long throws are on the up, apparently, from 1. So, not sure, but his value seemingly has dropped a little bit. He is also wanted still by Saudi teams. But we're doing good. We're doing all right. Let's show you the results here. Look, some big wins, some big losses actually in there as well. We are using the Gazball tactic with the overload instructions on. That's where we will continue to try and, can we go and win that Europa League? Can we get ourselves into Europe again for next year? We're going to try and finish this season as well as starting our World Cup qualifying group. That's what we're going to go and do next. That's where I will see you next. Perhaps we'll come back at the end of the club season because there is stuff to play for here. So maybe I'll see you then. And I'm glad that I did choose to come back at the end of this club campaign because here we are in the Europa League final against Spurs, taking the lead with Chiaruzzi. And then in the second half, right towards the end, it's Spurs conceding a late clincher in a European final there. It was Giovanni Villa with the second. We won the Europa League. And yes, I know you've noticed it. We've gone back to 3 strikers. We've actually made a switch to an old familiar, a classic on this channel. The spanner is going to lead us to glory now. That is the aim of the game. Here we are, though, winning the Europa League against Spurs. It was a great run to the final. I showed you up until Fiorentina. We beat them 5-0. Then it was Frankfurt, and we beat them. We lost away from home 1-0, beat them 6-3 at home, smashed them completely. Sternieri scored twice in that. And then 2-0 against Spurs. That Premier League power wasn't strong enough to beat us in a final. And we managed to get ourselves a first taste of European silverware, taking this Victor San Marino team, I think, to the next level. You'd think so, except for also the fact that I didn't qualify for Europe through the league. We finished actually 8th, which is one worse than last season. However, we got ourselves the Conference League, the Champions League because of that Europa League win, which means it doesn't matter where we finished in the league. We are still going onwards and upwards to better things. And at this stage here, I think I want to show you as well the start to the qualifying campaign where I did wonder if we were rubbish now after that Nations League. I don't think we are. We've beaten Malta 4-0. We've beaten the rubbish Germany 3-2, Azerbaijan 6-1 and Finland 4-1. It's been a perfect start to our qualifying campaign. You can start to dream of a place at the World Cup, which this time is being held in... It's going to be held in Indonesia. Indonesia and Malaysia is where it's being held in 2034. So add our name to this list hopefully soon. We are now as well, which is, I suppose, the complete aim of the whole premise of this video really is we are up in the rankings to 48th. We are joint with Angola, just below Iran and Iraq. I'm hoping to overtake them soon. I'm hoping to overtake Germany soon, who we keep beating them. Surely rate us higher than them in your rankings. I think we are now officially, by the way, a top 50 nation in the league. I think we can be aiming for this top 20, I think fairly soon. What points are we on? We're on 1,495. We need to try and aim for like well, if we get 2,000, we'll be top of the pops. There's France, look, with Mbappe, who knocked us out in that last tournament, which was just very sad, wasn't it? We are there. We're making moves. We're continuing on our journey. We need to go and finish this this World Cup qualifying campaign. We need to go and see if we can continue to improve this Victor San Marino team. I want to establish ourselves as a top 4 club. So I think I'm going to make a big jump now. We're going to go until the end of next season and get ourselves then ready for the World Cup, which is in June 2034. So I'll see you in about a year. It's World Cup year. It's 2034 then. We have gone 1 year in progress here. And this means now we are looking at this table. We're officially a top 4 team in Italy. We've managed to finish 4th, 79 points. It's by far our best season with the club side. And just to go across really quickly to the national team too, we have done the business in the World Cup qualifiers. In fact, we've done more than the business. We've won every single game. We are free scoring. We are so good. I'm so confident that we can go and win this World Cup. Perhaps too confident considering how we did in the last major tournament. But we've played 10 games in a qualifying campaign and won all of them. And scored so many goals. A goal difference of 31, look. We have beaten Norway 6-2. We've beaten Germany 2-0 away from home. We've beaten Azerbaijan 6-1, which admittedly is slightly less impressive. But we've topped our group and we are going into this World Cup full of confidence. We are both great on a club level with Victor San Marino, who are now top 4, qualifying for the Champions League. Only, by the way, being knocked out of the Champions League by Real Madrid. That's how good of a club side we are becoming these days. PSG went on to win it. We got through to, was it the quarterfinal? No, the round of 16. We lost 7-5 on aggregate. We took Real Madrid right up until that last minute. 5-4 away from home after the first leg as well. We're a good team. We're a good team. The league phase, I'll show you how it went here. Look, we did have to go and play the playoff round, but we went through here, played 1-4, beat Juventus, beat Valencia, beat Marseille, lost to Real Madrid 7-2. We won't talk about that as much. Lost to PSG, but we're mixing it. We're mixing it. Playoff, knockout playoff round. Look, we beat AC Milan, our Italian rivals. We're mixing it. We're doing what we can do. And most importantly, we're scoring so many goals. And the reason for that is because 2 of our strikers, now that we're using this spanner, 2 of our strikers are they're genuine gems. Fantini, we thought maybe he'd peaked. I don't think he has peaked. I think there's still room for this guy to grow. He's almost about to make his 100th appearance for the national team. He scored 87 goals. He is so good. This year, he has scored a bucket load for the club side as well. 26 in 45 alongside his mate. Giovanni Villa, now so good. Worldwide reputation, wanted by Real Madrid. That is actually going to be an issue and something we are going to need to contend with. We might start when they get to this level, we might start to really struggle to hold on to them. I'm hoping we can just reject, and even if they become unhappy, just try and keep them at the club. He's got a contract for another 3 years, so I'm just going to be really brutal with it and just say no, I think. He's also scoring goals. 14 last year, 7 this year, playing as one of these wide strikers. Everything's there. Everything's in the right place to hopefully go and have a really good World Cup campaign. The draw has been made, by the way. We've got the Democratic Republic of Congo, Brazil, and Australia. We smashed Australia in a friendly. Congo, I'm not worried about. Maybe I'm underestimating them. Brazil will probably be quite good. I think we can get through this World Cup group. And I want to say, I wish it would give you like the odds on here. I want to say we can go and win this. So let's go and play the group stage. And I'll be back to let you know if we're going to go through to the knockouts. Come on. Okay, we are very much on the march. We have beaten the Democratic Republic of Congo 2-1. Goals from DeLillo and Fantini. We've drawn to Brazil. A pretty strong result that. They actually heartbreakingly equalised in the last minute. 90+6. Although we had given ourselves put ourselves in a good position with Berardi and Mazza scoring the goals there. Mazza, by the way, look, is now a Victor San Marino player, as we talked about, I think, before. And then we beat Australia 3-2. A little bit lucky this one. We got ourselves the late winner in this one. Chiaruzzi with the goal. It means we go through to play Sweden in the World Cup second round. It's a great chance to go through and hopefully get ourselves through to a round of 16 and then perhaps even beyond. I am still so confident that we can go and do this. Sweden, definitely beatable. I'll see you after we played them. And yep, job done. It's not particularly pretty, this one. And after a horrible start from Sweden, Via gave us the lead early on. Sweden did fight back. Rooney Bargy down the right-hand side. He's a real favourite of mine. Good setup for Larsson in the middle. Then a bit of a hero of these parts as well. In fact, we scored next. It was Mazza through to Villa. He's gone to another level himself. And he is the hero of these parts, scoring to equalise for Sweden. Larsson through to Kusiasari, JKA with the equaliser. And then who do you think gets the winner? Yeah, it's Fantini from the spot, who made pretty hard work of that, actually. Definitely not quite as ruthless as we have been previously. Not a great performance from a few of our defenders. Ferry and Dos Santos didn't play great in this one. But job done. We are through to the next round. That is the round of 16 complete. We're through to the quarterfinals. And in those quarterfinals, we will be playing... Sorry, that's the second round complete. We're through to the round of 16. And in that round of 16, it will be the USA. So, same again. Come on. And it was the same again. A 4-2 win against the USA. The draw has been a complete opposite to that European Championships, where we're getting teams that now I feel confident that we can beat. The USA were dispatched courtesy of goals from Chiaruzzi, Berardi, Fantini from the spot, and Ugolini late on. A little bit of a rally in the second half, or towards, well, around about the halfway point of the game. Pepe and Balogun with goals for the USA, but not good enough. We've gone through, and I talked about getting an easy draw. We actually then played France. And the reason that I'm smiling and smirking the way that I am is because France were beaten by us. They took the lead as well. This France team, Krupi, Mbappe, Chambon, who is this new gen here, who's just, look at him. 6'5", and just, he's got 9 finishing, which is probably why France are playing him wide. But look at those physicals, man. And physicals can take you a long way in Football Manager. I think we all know that these days, don't we? Camavinga, Zaire Emery, Gorna Duarte. What a team. Not as good as our lads, though, because Chiaruzzi scored on 35. Let's have a look at his goal. Let's revel in it, because this may be as far as we get. We're into a semi-final of a World Cup. We've beaten France. Chiaruzzi gave us the lead in the first half, 33 minutes. Again, not great defending from then. It comes to him on that right-hand side of that front three. He smashed in, and then after that made it 1-1, sorry, and then Siachi on 69 minutes. Again, I don't know if this tournament is just making these things happen more. Perhaps we'll see if it happens again in future rounds. But Siachi capitalising on a defensive mistake. We're through. It was not a great game. 9 shots for us, 10 for them. Only 6 shots on target in the entire game. But it doesn't matter. We're through to a World Cup semi-final where it's Belgium. And it's back to being a real chance. Surely we can beat Belgium in a World Cup semi-final. Come on, let's find out. And we did. We've done it. We've made a World Cup final. It's Mazza into who else? Fantini scoring the only goal of the game. Belgium actually missed a penalty in this one as well. Kramer on 56. We rode our luck. It was definitely another one of those games. It was a bit of a non-affair. We ended up taking that chance. Fantini with the winner. We are into a World Cup final where we will play Austria. Surely. I mean, we had the horrible draws of the Euros last time. This time, we've had to play France, we've had to play Brazil, but the rest of the tournament is eminently winnable. And this final here, you just have to say, are we ever going to get a better chance of winning a World Cup? I don't think we will. We have to take this chance. We're going to do it today. I know this video is going to be long, but we're going to do it as a live com because I feel like we have to. Here is the team in the spanner. It's going to be Gasparoni in goal. Berardi, Ferry, Della Balda at the back. Donati on the right. Dos Santos at the left. Mazza and DeLillo in midfield. Chiaruzzi on the right. Villa on the left. And then Fantini through the middle. Can we go and do this? It's not actually even... We're not even submitting the team yet. The game is, though, today. It's just later on today. That is going to be the team. Let's get ourselves up to the point where we're going to do this. Ignore all this stuff which is going on. It's not important right now. We've got a World Cup to go and win. Let's submit that team. There's the bench, just in case you wanted to see it. Can we win a World Cup? And if we do, is this where the save ends? I've got that nagging feeling in me that says we need to be number 1 in the world. So probably not. But it would be pretty much crowning of all the achievements that we could possibly do. I suppose we could go and try and win the Champions League with this club side. And of course, we just need to see if we can make that ranking to be number 1. I think where we're out now is I think we're in about 30 something at the moment. We'll check after this game anyway. Win or lose. It's a World Cup final here in Malaysia, or what was the other host country? I can't remember, but we're in a World Cup final. Let's concentrate on that. Dos Santos down the left-hand side straight away. Oh my word, what a start that would have been. We've hit the post. It was Villa. Straight from kickoff, 20 seconds in, we almost took the lead. Mazza now in this midfield. He's finally, by the way, this Mazza and DeLillo are the midfielders that we've been crying out for so long. I wonder if that is kind of the missing piece in the jigsaw that is this San Marino team, and that we've been really good. We've had great attackers and some good wing backs and a couple of good defenders, but we've just had no midfielders really. And now we do, and suddenly we're in a World Cup final. This is possibly why. Here comes Della Balda down the right hand side. All of the highlights in the first 2 minutes have been ours. We are, by the way, on key highlights, so if you're wondering, if it seems like there's a lot, but it is key highlights. Chiruzzi cleared away at the near post. Ferry, Donati, we've recycled this nicely. There's a chance here. Fantini scored. Fantini has scored a goal in the World Cup final. Again, I say it every time, but who else? Fantini is our GOAT, and he scored a World Cup final goal now. We lead against Austria. 4 shots from us, 3 on target, nothing from them. We're on course to go and win a World Cup. I almost want to go defensive. I almost want to tell them to waste time, because it might be a little bit early for that though, but we are on course to win a World Cup with San Marino. Here, we've given it away. Here come maybe Austria with their first chance of the game, or can we steal this ball? Will we have another one of those where the defence passes to the strikers, as we've seen so many times in this tournament so far? It's good, patient football from Austria. And they have given it us. It's Chiruzzi to make it 2. He's put it wide. It's actually a really good block in the end from Querfeld. Was it him who gave it away? It might even have been. That was a chance though. 20 minutes on the clock. We aren't going to score from the corner. That will be the end of the highlight. Whew. Breathe. Nothing silly, lads. Keep the pressure on. Maybe find a second goal, but just nothing silly is what I'm asking for here. Dos Santos has beaten his man. He's into the box. He scored. Oh my word, what a goal. Nicolas Dos Santos has smashed it in, and we're 2-0 up against Austria. We're in dreamland, and I actually do now want to tell them to waste time. It's so early in the game, but we're 2-0 up in a World Cup final. San Marino are on the brink. They've had 0 XG. We're on the attack again. Chiruzzi given away. Don't do anything silly and let them back into this team, lads. It would be such a shame, wouldn't it? Here comes Berardi. Dos Santos. Villa, that's given away as well to Querfeld. Ebert. We're winning it back every time. The way with these 3 strikers, it really keeps the pressure on. Defences can't seem to get out. Maybe that's why we're seeing these defensive mistakes. As we go close again, it's a good save from Heddle. A really good goalkeeper, actually. Corner to us. Going to be taken by Mazza. Swings it in towards one of our big guys. Headed away again. Ferry's... Oh, hang on. No, is there a chance? No, there's not. They have cleared it. We are not far away from half-time. We've got a 2-0 lead in a World Cup final. I'm going to make sensible subs when it comes to that time, but not even half-time yet. Mazza down the left. Chiruzzi maybe offside. He's put it in, and there's no flag. It's 3-0. I feel like we can almost relax now. It's 3-0 to us. And we are so close to... We've got... You know, the guy who does the names on the trophy. He might even have started etching it in as Austria are on the attack here. How have we got to a World Cup final where it's Austria in the final, by the way? That was quite a good effort as well. I think it hit the bar. But what a run of games, or like an easy run of games for us. We go in at half-time, 3-0 up. I'm going to tell them... Well, I've already told them apparently, because we're not doing team talks. We'll leave that to the assistant. I'm going to just now... I'm actually going to say it. We're going to start time wasting. We're going to go and see this game out. 51 minutes on the clock. I'm even going to say, just be more disciplined. We don't need to do anything silly. We've got a 3-0 lead. They've had no shots on target. We can make some subs as well. Let's do a couple of those on the hour mark here. In fact, Chiruzzi's picked up a bit of a knock here. Let's bring on Siachi, who's a very good player. He's that youngster who's really tall that we looked at earlier on, I think. Corner to us. First highlight of this second half. Siachi's now on. He does have a bit of height to challenge. Mazza in towards Berardi. Villa's going to pick it up. Tiachi into Mazza. Chance here. He's hit the post. I think, was it a save or did he hit the post? It said it was a good save, actually. Maybe it was a save. Half an hour to play. Just stop with the highlights. Just it's fine. If you just, no more highlights. Just lift the trophy. That's all I want to see at this point. We're on the attack again, though. At least it's us on the ball. Della Balda. Dos Santos. Down the left-hand side. Fantini's in there. He's headed over. It'd be nice if Fantini got another goal, actually. He's looking quite tired up front, though. I'm even going to do this. We're going to go to full time wasting, even though there's 23 minutes still to play. Hopefully that doesn't come back to bite me. With a 3-0 lead, I can always take it back off again. Austria, oh wow, that was a chance. Paul Wanner's a good player as well. He's the Bayern Munich one, I want to say. He's missed that chance. 20 to play. Another highlight begins. Achtman, Affengruber, passing it around at the back. We've been good at taking it off them here. We might take it off them again. We do. Mazza. There's runs in the middle. There's Villa. He's got Fantini in the middle. And there is Fantini in the middle. 4-0. I'm saying it. We're champions of the world. San Marino are World Cup winners. And I'm saying that with 15 to play because that's how confident I am. I'm going to leave everybody on this pitch because these are the heroes really that have seen us through. There's no subs that I kind of sentimentally want to bring on. So I'm going to leave these guys on. Hopefully with this time wasting, this game can go relatively quickly through. They've got a goal back. Fali Mayulu. They're going to check it. Please be offside. Just please be offside. Stevie Booth is it's a goal. Okay. 4-1. Still don't panic. Okay, they've got a highlight here. Maybe we do. Okay, he's missed it. Thank God for that. I would maybe have then started to panic. 8 minutes to play. We've got some tired players, but those boys, they deserve to be out there. We're going to see our San Marino lads lift a trophy. And not just a trophy, the World Cup. The Euros were a disaster. But we're going to win a World Cup. That's going to be... Okay, I said all our boys are out there. Donati's got himself sent off. That's less than ideal, my friends. But we'll just cope. Do you know what? I don't know why I have to... We'll just cope without him at right wing back at this stage. There's 4 minutes to play. It says Austria are in their groove, but it doesn't matter because San Marino have won the World Cup. See it, enjoy it, drink it in because San Marino are champions of the world. And I don't think we can even leave the story here. It's almost a perfect place to end what has become a mini series, but we set out with 1 goal and that was to become #1 ranked in the world. Spain are still there to be caught. Sorry, France are still there to be caught. This is a good step on that journey. We've won the World Cup, but it doesn't end there. Let's continue. Let's get ourselves to #1. If you've enjoyed this video, please do leave a like on it. Please leave me a comment and just say Fantini is my GOAT. Let's not do spoilers. I was going to say something about the World Cup, but Fantini is my GOAT can be the message to show you've got to the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you are enjoying this as a series, subscribe to the channel because there is going to be a part 3. There has to be. We're going to take these to #1 in the world. We've won the World Cup. What a gang of lads. What a boy Giovanni Fantini is. Thank you for watching. Have a lovely rest of your day. Bye-bye. Come on.